Hello everyone, this is going to be another replay, this time on Lost Temple versus a Zerg opponent. And I'm actually going to attempt to run this at 1920 res, just so I can do the highest HD format on YouTube. I'm not sure if my video card can handle it or not, so we're going to have to find out. I'm about 23 frames per second right now, which is decent if that holds. The theme of this video is going to be probably a little bit different than stuff you see on YouTube. I mean, usually I guess when people look for strategies on YouTube, they're looking for build orders, they're looking for unit compositions. The theme of this video is actually going to be about scouting. And it may not seem like that exciting of a theme, but it's actually one of the most important things if you want to become a winning player at Starcraft 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this commentary from the view of myself. I actually lent out my beta key to a friend right before the patch reset, so my name has changed now to his. But if you watch my Warcraft 3 videos, you know this is the guy I did my tower rushing with in Warcraft 3, Evil Killer. I don't even know if you can read that on YouTube resolution, who knows. So I do get scouted early by a Zerg drone, which I was wanting to do my quick expand build, cause being a 4-player map versus a Zerg opponent, but the fact that I got spotted so quickly, I changed my mind and I decided to throw down a barracks and wall off my ramp. So I just kill his scout and I complete my wall, because I'm really not sure if there's going to be Zerglings flooding in. Sometimes Zerg goes just for an all-in rush, especially if they're able to scout you early. And sometimes they especially scout you early because they want to find you on a 4-player map for their rush. So I was a little worried about the rush at this point. At the same time, I got a pretty good idea where his drone came from. Usually they'll send the Overlord to the closest base, flight-wise, and then send their drone the other way. So I'm guessing if the drone came in from here, it probably is because he sent the Overlord that way. So he's probably going to be in the 3 o'clock base. So I come in, and there we go. I scout hatchery immediately. So at this point, I'm already not worried about the rush. And I see a spawning pool just going down now. Had I gotten an earlier barracks, I could have gone and set up... well, actually, it's still probably possible. You can set up a bunker just outside range of the hatchery. Hatchery cannot see far what's in production, so you can put up a bunker up like right here that's still in range, and then just fill that CVs and try to take out his expansion. Of course, the other response to an economic build is to try to stay even in economy, which is the route I went. As soon as I saw I wasn't putting on pressure, I went right back to my quick expand build. So I'm getting my refineries and my command center and my engineering bay. And at faster ×3, my frame rate is suffering pretty bad. Okay, it's back up to 20. It's not too bad. Still, I got left an SCV at the front just in case it starts throwing in lings. But it's not really a worry. You don't need the SCV there. You'll also notice I hid my SCV in his base. And this is so I can use him as a scout later on. There we go, SCV transfer, throwing up the planetary fortress. Almost got the range upgrade done for the planetary fortress. So when the fortress is done, I'll have range right up to halfway to my ramp. I noticed there's an Overlord sitting over my SCV, so I'm like, okay, I better scout now. Let's see what we got here. So I'm compiling in. I'm looking for the back of his base, because that's often where they hide the tech. And I still see nothing. At this point, the fact that he only has spawning pools, I'm thinking maybe he's just massing up Zerglings and then he'll mix in Banelings, because he is going for a layer upgrade on his hull. So now that I have that heads up, I'm already thinking, okay, how am I going to defeat the Banelings? Probably going to get an armor upgrade on my buildings, probably going to get a few more Marauders, keep Marauders out front, try to soak up the hits of the Banelings. So I'm thinking about it, but I'm not obviously committing to it, because that was just a guess at this point. I still don't know what he's up against, what I'm up against here. So far I've been using my orbital command for mules, but I think probably for my next 50 energy I'm going to scan his base and really see what he's throwing down here.
Add-on complete.
SCV ready.
At the same time, I'm just getting into my bioball build and getting some barracks up. I'm trying to get a little bit better about spending my resources. The upgrades help. If I realize I'm pooling resources, that's when I just start throwing in all these upgrades. Like, well, I got the extra money for it. So, getting my first 2 Marauders. I also got the factory down, so I'll be getting my starport soon. Throwing supply depot in the corner. I'm also wondering if he's going to go Nidus canals and throw in speedlings that way. So I scanned his base, and now all I see is an evolution chamber and a hive. So I'm like, what is he up to? I've still not seen any unit production type building besides the spawning pool. So I'm like, okay, well maybe he's hiding his tech in his expansion. So I decided to throw an SCV right in the front of his expansion. And I see Zerglings.
SCV ready.
And just yeah, just units and I do not know what this building's called.
Research.
I don't even remember from Starcraft. Layer, hive,
ready.
it's a tier 1. Anyways. Hatchery. There we go. Little brain fart there. So I'm going to flip it to the everyone view, and I'm going to show you why it was, I think this is a pretty good replay because it shows the bonuses of good scouting and the detriments of bad scouting. So the one place I never was able to scout was the back of his expansion, and there's the spire, and I'm completely not ready for it. I think I even spend my next scan, I'm not sure if I've spent it already, on his base again. I'm like, well, maybe he's just really late throwing up his building, because I couldn't figure out what he was getting and where his tech was hidden. I don't really use the factory when I play Zerg, so I just kind of send it out as a scouting thing. So he throws a few Zerglings at the front, and I'm like, alright, 7 Zerglings? That doesn't seem like an attack, that seems like a scout.
Add-on complete.
It's about to get heavy.
And any second now, I will find out that it was a scout for the Mutalisks. And here they come in. And what do I have? I got 5 Marines, no turrets, no Vikings. Vikings are not a good counter to Mutalisks anyways. If you want to counter Mutalisks, you gotta be thinking, turrets supported with Marines or Thors. Vikings are better against massive air, not against this little tiny air.
SCV ready.
So here's my lack of scouting. I'm losing almost every SCV in my expansion here. Obviously Planetary Fortress is useless against air units.
SCV ready.
Sending in my SCV, or not my SCV, sending in my few Marines I do have just to kind of buy time while I'm trying to throw up air turrets everywhere I can.
Research complete.
Now the other thing that you gotta remember, this is not a game-ending move. This is just a harass move to wipe up my economy, which more or less ends the game. But at the same time, you're not going to get kicked out right here, so you gotta continue thinking ahead. Like, okay, he'll probably come back to my expansion once he clears out there, so I want to get my expansion. I want to keep minerals going at least one base. So I got a couple turrets up there. So he took off, even though he didn't have to. And I survived. However, look at the SCV count now. I have 10 SCVs, he has 38 drones. That was devastating to me. And it was all because of a lack of scouting. Well, a lack of effective scouting. Had I seen that, I would have had turrets already waiting for him, and I would have had much higher Marine count in my mix. Probably about 5 Marines for every 1 Marauder.